What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, looks like Nonito Donaire. He's been on a lot of interviews recently. I've seen a lot more exposure for a while after the Yedemo Rigondeaux. I think he was laying low. He wasn't out and about as much, doing interviews as much. Um, Also dealing with his wife's pregnancy. He did a shoulder. He had like a shoulder spur, so he was doing the rehabilitation slash surgery for that. And recently I've seen some videos and interviews from him. I remember the first thing that I noticed when I seen these videos is, damn, Nonito Donaire looks like he put on weight. Not necessarily a horrible weight or like obese or anything like Ricky Fatton, but I could tell he weighed more. His face looked a lot fuller, um, and it looks like he's on his off season basically. And another thing is, I don't know if you guys ever notice this, but sometimes when men get their girls pregnant and their girls going through her trimesters and carrying their baby, it seems like the dudes get fat too, or they pick up pounds too. I don't know if it's the girl always having late night cravings or want to eat certain things. I don't have any kids, so I don't know. But I could imagine it's because the girl has cravings and goes through the little pregnancy cravings and whatnot, and then the dude's there being the dude and eating with her all the time. Because I had a couple of friends where their girls got pregnant and it looked like they got pregnant because they gained a lot of weight. So Nonito expecting his firstborn child. It looks like he picked up some pounds. He stated in interviews that he weighs over 140 pounds. Um, he was fighting at 122. For those of you who don't know, his last fight against Yedemo Rigondeaux was at 122. He didn't put on an impressive performance, to say the least. Either that or he couldn't adjust to the skilled mastery of the Cuban fighter Yedemo Rigondeaux. Now, check my video out about Rigondeaux Cuban fighters. I try to give you guys some insight as to Cuba and the Cuban experience. So make sure you check it out. Some people are hating. Most people show love. But I think they have a tremendous story and it's worth a watch. So they're talking about making Darchinyan rematch with Nonito Donaire. I've stated this time and time again because the Rigondeaux fight didn't look like it was going to be made. It looked like it was tougher to make. Vic Darchinyan wants to fight. He wants to redeem himself. He strung up some wins. He fought Devalle and beat that prospect, the Puerto Rican prospect. His last fight, he won, but I don't want to see this fight. I don't want to see Vic Darchinyan versus Nonito Donaire. One, Nonito Donaire weighs over 140 pounds. So him dropping back down to 122 really doesn't make sense. Nonito Donaire is not a spring chicken, so to speak. He's over 30, which isn't old, but you have a different level of wear and tear when you're boxing 30. Like if you're a boxing 30, that's different from being just a 30-year-old that works at Target. I mean, all the training camps, all the exercise, strength and conditioning, all the fights, the wear and tear, the hits, I mean, the rounds, the amateur background, all of that, it plays a part into some people's bones ache, some people develop injuries and nervous system damage, all kinds of stuff. So Nonito Donaire is not quote unquote young as a boxer. So jumping up in weight, statistically and historically, it's not necessarily the greatest thing to do late in a career. If you're Adrian Broner age, you're Canelo's age, two fighters who are young, two fighters who haven't received a whole hell of a lot of punishment in their fights to the point where they had fights like Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward or Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado. They're not really shop worn. They've gotten hit, but they've never just been like annihilated, so to speak. So it's a little bit different for fighters like that, like Canelo and Adrian Broner. But Nonito Donaire, I mean, he's been in the sport for quite some time. He had an amateur career. At this point, I don't think it's the smartest thing to jump up and down in weight, to go up over 140 pounds and then drop back down after inactivity, back down to 122. So for that reason, I don't want to see it. Two, I don't want to see it because I don't want to see it. Like he already, excuse me, he beat Vic Darchinyan clearly, concise. It was very decisive. He knocked him out. He couldn't recover, and there's no controversy. Now, if it's a fight like Devin Alexander versus Lucas Matisse, I would like to see a rematch like that. You know why I would want to see a rematch like that? Is because Devin Alexander, since that fight with Matisse, has strung up some wins. He has a belt. He looked good against Lee Purdy. He stayed away from the power of Randall Bailey. Randall Bailey's right. He beat Maidana, and he moved up in weight. So all in all, he's at a different point in his career. Lucas Matisse, he's running through people. Mike Dallas Jr. probably got it one of the worst. He's taken on all the tough tests, Humberto Soto's, the Joses. He ran through Peterson in less than 4 rounds, had Peterson out of there. He's looking impressive. When he fought Devin Alexander the first time, he was younger and he was newer to the sport, the pro sport. So a fight like that I wouldn't so much mind, especially since the fight was in Alexander's hometown, and it's very controversial. Asking different people, you're going to get different answers. There's no one on God's green earth that is going to say Vic Darchinyan beat Nonito Donaire. So it's really not a fight that needs to be made because it was a definitive answer, and it was years ago in the lighter weights, and I just think Nonito's too big, and I don't really see him losing to Darchinyan. So it's not really, if he's going to kill himself to make 122, I'd rather see him rematch Rigondeaux because that's the fighter who just beat you. So maybe he wants a tune-up or a softer touch than Rigondeaux since Rigondeaux completely outclassed him. I don't really know, but I would rather just him assume move up to 126 if he's not going to fight Rigondeaux again. Just move up to 126, a more comfortable weight. Try to make a Gary Russell Jr. fight. Try to fight just one of the guys up there, one of the tough challenges there. Ponce de Leon, somebody. Just follow Abner Mars' footsteps. I don't care, but I'd rather see Daniel Ponce de Leon and Nonito over Nonito and Vic Darchinyan Part 2. I just don't think it really holds much merit. A win over Vic Darchinyan, again, doesn't really put Nonito back in the mix, or to me it doesn't. I don't really feel like I would rate him any higher by beating Darchinyan, who he already convincingly beat again. And Darchinyan doesn't look that great in the higher weight classes. I mean, people like Moreno completely made him look foolish. He lost to Abner Mars. He just doesn't look as good in the higher weight classes. If you watch his last fight versus Gallo, that dude was a bum. Like, if you look at his record, I think his name was Javier Gallo. He wasn't anything special, and he was giving Darchinyan problems as well, I think, in the first round. So, like I said, just the Nonito fight, I don't really see the need for it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see Vic Darchinyan and Nonito square off again? Who do you want to see Nonito fight next? What do you think about his weight? Would you rather just see him move up to 126? Let me know your opinion. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.